First up, we have Danielle, and wanted to point out just the naming convention thing. If you look at the all of the assignments will have a naming convention. So I'm not, it's not the biggest deal in the world. I'm mostly focused on the work, but it's better if it includes your name and the module number. So if you guys could start following the naming convention, that would be great. If you want to add a version number afterwards, that's okay. So first initial, last name, module 3 underscore, you know, 2 or O2 or whatever, that's fine. But if you could, have this first part the same, that would be great. Because what you'll notice is if you'll see that some people have followed the naming convention, and then there's other stuff like new bike and bike 28 and bike revision, those kinds of things. So it just helps out keep things more organized, and it's something you should get used to when working in the professional world, is they'll have strict naming conventions, so it's a good habit to have. So this one's called new bike. Okay, this is looking good. um, yeah, see, it's got a nice shape to it. Looks like you put some time into that. I like these details underneath the seat. Um, One thing, wouldn't tend to combine all these surfaces unless there was a compelling reason to do so. Um, oh, that's not separating. Okay, so I guess what I was trying to do was change the normals to soften edge to get that to look smooth. But I did to all of them, and that's fine. Yeah, the handlebars look, whoa, very dense. Wow, too dense. So I don't know if you have the history on these still. You do not. But that is denser than it needs to be. And one, sort of general philosophy of having a topology is the minimum number of faces you need to describe the shape. So you could describe the same shape with fewer faces. And what I'm guessing is that maybe you smoothed it too many times, or you uh, probably smoothed it too many, or on the smooth you set it too high, the number of divisions that was too high. Um, so it's it's kind of hard to, that's why I was looking for the history, because you can dial it back with the history. But if you don't have the history, there are tools to reduce, but they usually mess up the surface, so I don't use them that much. Yeah, reduce. I kind of avoid this because let's just use the default, see what we get. I mean, that wasn't too bad. Just, if you see, I'm just comparing them back and forth. See what happens if we try it again. Hmm, not so bad actually, but it's still very dense, kind of going around that way. It doesn't seem to want to reduce it in that direction as much. Starting to. Um, I don't know why it still looks faceted after I soften the edges, but anyways, it gives you this sort of funny topology, which isn't great. So um, really it would be better to take a few steps back. Anyways, it's not a big deal, but it's just something to know about. Is you don't want stuff that dense. It's gonna kind of slow down your file. And I would say again, that's pretty dense, but that's not as worrisome. Nice forks here. I like the way those branch to those things. Looks good. Oh yeah, it looks like there's sort of your chain got maybe doubled up or something. Is there? Kind of looks like there's more than one set of um, chain links on top of each other. If you look at this, so it looks like you have multiple, multiple. Yeah. So there's a lot there. So that I might take a step back and just have the one and delete it and do it over again. Because I got and then they didn't go all the way around. So it looks like you struggle with that a little bit. But yeah, and this chain ring's okay. I think the teeth are looking very wide and far apart. But these are details. Overall, it's a nice looking bike, and you've done a good job. It's a good, clean bike. And I think, I'd like to say to the whole class that this set of bicycles as a group that you guys have done are very good. I think that, it's exceeded what I've seen in previous classes, getting into a lot more detail, putting a lot more work into it, and that's really great. So it's nice to see. Um, yeah, it looks maybe a little broad and a little maybe a bit wide, in both directions. But again, details really good bicycle. Next up is Nadia, who had some trouble with the chain. Let's take a look at that. Um, so first of all, it looks combined, and I wouldn't intend to do that. Um, oh, that's a lot, so it might take a minute. So yeah, that took a little while. There's a lot of these. Um, and is the curve still there? Looks like maybe not. Wow, that's a lot of surfaces. What are all these? Oh, just loads and loads of these things, huh? All right, well, let's just do it again. Just doing that and hitting the up arrow, and that should get the whole group. Oh, I need to save, like, one of them. Oh, they're not. Let's group that. And Shift P will, Control G to group it, and Shift P, and let's just call this chain link 01. Center the pivot while I'm at it. Okay, so now we have this one guy. If it turns green like that, it usually means there's not a material associated with it. So I'll just go into my hypershade and assign this. I'm just middle mouse dragging this to the, oops, missed. Select that, right mouse click, assign. Okay. So now let's make our curve. I could use circles and cut them and all that, which would probably be the right way to do it. Don't know if I want to take the time to do that. I just wanted to quickly show you how to build this. So I'll just do a quick and dirty kind of version. This will help make it, oops. Match that thing. I'm just put a point on each of these. Okay, I'll hold down V for point snap, and hopefully it'll. And if I just let me hide the polygons. So there's my curve. It's looking pretty good, actually. That was probably a decent way of doing it. And then, so you'll notice it's obviously not even. I might take out this one just because it's sort of. Yeah, and so let's change this from, there's on the curves options, edit curves, there's open, close curves. So what I should have now is, oh, it still has an extra, let's just delete that point. I think there's an option on open, close curves to delete the extra point there. Is there? Edit curves, open, close options. Oh, I don't know. Anyways, it's gone now. So, but I think it's actually probably fine like this. Let's give this a shot. So, let's show polygon. And what I might do, yeah. All right, can I hide some of this stuff? There we go. Okay, so let's take this group, so I'm just going to hit the up arrow and shift select the curves, and for the animation menu, animate motion paths, attach to motion paths options, and let's just reset this, and time slider, start end, I don't know, 1 to 100. See what it does. Okay, that looks right. Good. So, yeah, so we have it going around there. And is it oriented correctly? Yeah, pretty much. Okay. So now the first and very important thing to do, which I think explains the overlapping you might have been getting, if I go into the graph editor for this and I have the group selected, I'm going to hit F. See this curve? It goes slower at the beginning and then faster and slower at the end. We go over all this later. I know this is all new to you. Oh, by the way, I got to the graph editor by opening up the hotbox, clicking in this southern area. I went to graph editor. Anyway, without going into too much of a lesson on this right now, because we go over this later, if you select that and then hit this little line for linear, what that'll do is it'll make it a consistent speed, which means when you do this snapshot thing, it won't be bunched up at either end. It'll be an even pace the whole time. So that was probably the bunching issue. And then create animated snapshot options. Let's just start with 1 and start in 1 to 100 and always update. So that's not too bad for a first guess. Wow. So let's see what happens now if we edit the animation. I think it should update in theory. So let's say we want them, want a few more of these. So let's go like 110 so that it, that is not what I thought it would update the snapshot, and it is not. Okay, no, whatever. So maybe we have to say update snapshot. Strange. Well, okay, I won't worry about it too much. I'm doing something wrong, I'm sure. Let's delete these. Why am I only seeing that half of it? Let's just undo back. Oops. Okay. Let's see where we're at. Take a look at that graph editor. Let's try 110. Give us a few more. I wonder. Might try a little bit of a twist on this. What is it? Front? No, it's up twist. No, side. Yeah. Just get that a little better lined up there. Okay. And let's try animate snapshot again. Whoops. Oh, create animated. Yeah, right here. Sorry. That is strange. I don't know why it didn't work the last time. Anyways, so that's pretty good. We can see they're evenly spaced, and you can fiddle with that. You can undo back and adjust the timing and get a few more. Let's just try one more time. This was 110. Let's do 120. Should give us a few more of them, a little more closely packed together. And animate, create animation snapshot. Make sure I go 1 to 120 now. Okay, it's a little more overlap. You know, you can keep playing with that, but I think that probably the biggest issue was the was that graph editor thing, that making it linear and keeping an even pace. And then it's a question of adjusting these. Not sure what went on here. It could be an issue with my curve, but I thought the curve looked okay. You know, if you're not, you can always go back in and do some manual adjustments if some stuff is looking funny. What I might do, again, let's go a few steps back if we really want to get this right. So the thing to do then is Let's delete the animation, edit, delete all by type. Channels, that'll delete the animation off of that. Yeah, there's no animation here now, right? Okay, good. So what you can do to make this better is rebuild curve. So under the surfaces menu, edit curves, rebuild curve option. And I'm going to go pretty high here because I don't want it to mess up that shape. So 96. Ooh, went a bit sideways on us. That's not good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the curve looks okay to me, although the points are lying on the curve. So I'm wondering if I accidentally did a 1 degree curve, which is bad. Create CV curve tool options. So by default, yeah, this wouldn't have happened to you. I had it on for some weird purpose. I had it on linear curve, so you need it there. So I wonder if some easy way to convert that to cubic. That's why it's doing those funny things. Nope. Yikes. Yeah, I went berserk with because of the linear curve thing. All right, well, this is because I've already spent too much time on this. The answer is when you make your CV curve, make sure it's reset to the normal, the default options. Um, I would just, I guess, just rebuild it again. I mean, one actually, I could show you a quick way of doing that too. Is if I have this where I see the CVs, I should be able to create a new curve. Yes, I am indeed. So if I just hold down, let's just hide the polygons here real quick. It's going to do that every time. Oh no, it's not. So I'm holding down V for point snap, and it's giving me a more rounded curve, and this is actually not that time consuming to fix. So I'm holding down V for point snap. And then I can shift marquee select to switch and get rid of that curve, and now I have this nicer curve. Show that. Alright. Now let's select this group, shift select this nice new smoother curve, then do our animation, animate motion path, attach to motion path options, 1 to 120 we said. By the way, you do want follow on, that's important. Besides, I just use the default options, except I use start end. Okay, we did a little adjustment here. We changed the graph editor to linear. Then we did animate snapshot, 1 to 120 snapshot. Hey, I don't know why it's just being kind of funny. It's like I had the same thing selected. So yeah, there you go. I think the angle wasn't perfect. I can go back and adjust that, but I think hopefully by now you get the idea. And again, you can always manually adjust some if they're not perfect, but I think that solves some of the weirdness I was getting along the sides. Okay, that is my long, drawn-out chain thing. Hopefully helps people who had problems building that chain. But back to focusing on this bicycle. Yeah, I think teeth look far apart. Maybe too few of them. Um, the basic body shape looks good. Um, frame. Probably hit 3 on that just to see it look more rounded. And yeah, actually, this is a very good looking bicycle. I would maybe these pieces are looking. I look at some reference for that. That doesn't quite look right. They're kind of big and thick, and they don't seem to. Oh, yeah, I didn't line this up with the chain ring, but just pick the group and move it. Um, but yeah, overall, another very good bike. Next up is Sebastian. Um, yeah, again, looking another very good looking bicycle. Um, I like this detail here with the brake lines and all the little detail here with the brake. I think that's really nice. Um, I mean, even to go so far as the shape of the little brake pad and good stuff. You got your interesting sort of. Someone else pointed this out, and I'm not sure what's going on here because sometimes you could be able to like double click there and control delete, but it's not really going away. I don't know. Let's try it a few more times. Something went sideways with the construction of this thing. I seem to keep deleting edges and this one never goes away. Or am I not deleting anything? I don't really know. One thing you can try sometimes, and this is a long shot to be honest with you, but you can try to go to under the polygons menu, mesh cleanup, and let's just try the defaults first. Nothing. Let's try to check more stuff. No, just triangulated everything. So, no such luck there. I don't know. Oh, hey, that might have been the ticket. Seems like that edges with 0 length got rid of it. Okay, we were in luck. Just needed to know which option to check. So that's a good thing to play with if you have funny geometry issues. Um, what else? Yeah, I like this whole, how much time you spent with the gears here. That looks really good. And it looks like you did more than just, if I'm not mistaken, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like you did more than just scale it up each time. Or no, you just scaled it up each time. That's okay. That's fine. It still looks really good. It works well. And yeah, the chain looks really nice. Maybe just could be a tiny bit better lined up, but it's an extremely small detail. Um, yeah, just really good work overall. Great job. Next up is Crystal, and it's nice that I downloaded the reference and Maya was smart enough to find it, which is nice. Let's just hide cameras because those are bothering me. Okay. So, yeah, they might just on smooth preview, they look a little more nice. Yeah, I think the seat could use some more work. It's a bit thin at the front. It's good to, now that we have the reference in here. Oh, it's quite a different size. Yeah, I mean, as long as you have the reference, you should try to match it really close. But I mean, the thing to do is, when you have this here, you can just grab these guys and just try to, match it at least from a profile point of view. And obviously you want more reference than just the profile, but already it should be, I'm just doing like a little marquee select and then moving and marquee select and then move. Let's see what it looks like in 3D so far. So, and now what I would say is, yeah, you've got to use a little bit of your imagination, and there's some not so good situation going on. Oh, so that was sort of, let's do that from the side because, so we can get both at the same time. And yeah, the front, I don't know, there's something a little funny going on with the shape here, but so yeah, and then you could, for example, smooth it, and it still needs a lot of work, but oh, why did it do that? Is there a double set of vertices here? No. It's done something. The topology looks real funny here, and it makes me think there's like a double set of edges or let's do this, control delete, see if there's still, no, but there's one here, control delete. Okay, interesting. Don't know how that, maybe you did that mirror thing and not everything merged, I don't know. Oh, there's another one. Control delete. Oops. Another one here. Control delete. Let's just kind of work our way around. Nope. Okay. Right mouse click, object mode, select, smooth again. There's still something there. No, I don't know. But anyway, and then you could continue sculpting from here to try and, I might do something like select, let's go from the front, maybe get those guys on either side there, and then B for soft select, and then hold down B and click and drag and decrease the size of the soft selection, so it's just part of the sides, maybe a little bigger than that. You can see it fading. I think it could be bigger. And then R for scale, and then I can kind of move those out in a reasonably smooth fashion to get that. And let's do the same with, say, that one, and that one. And then I think then you can also sort of be squeezing in the front a little bit. Let's take like that one, that one, that one, that one. And when I do it from the side, I'm selecting through, so I get both sides at the same time. And squeeze these in. Anyways, that gives you, I'm not going to model this thing all day, but it gives you an idea of some techniques to use. Turn off wireframe unshaded here. Yeah, but overall, it's looking good. You really follow the shape of the frame. I think this kind of detail with the posts that support it, that little rack on the back would be a nice thing to add. And the kind of the fender thing, whatever they call that, the wheel cover thing, on the front and back are part of what gives this its kind of signature look, as does the chain guard. Um, so there's a few nice big details you could add to take this one further, but also these nice kind of handlebar grips. So, oh, and the springs, these real signature springs underneath there look kind of cool. For some reason, I thought you had those before. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Anyways, though, I think you could have matched the reference a little more. And then I noticed here that some stuff somehow got rotated. But maybe that's as simple as zeroing that out. No. Yes. But then, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, you just need to be zeroed out and straightened out a little bit. So, yeah, and matching the size more exactly, and just doing it right from the thing would be better. But again, mostly very good work. Next up is Todd, and yeah, I mean, looking great, just great. Very cool bike and nice details, like the chain guard here, well modeled. Seat. I feeling like this would be more rounded there. It looks kind of sharp, but you know, it's looking good. And oh, I can see use the flare, personal favorite. Um, yeah, good. Honestly, I don't have much to say about this one. I mean, this is like look at the detail on the pedals. You've got these little bumps in there. You did the chain. I feel like these are looking a little thick and too far spaced apart. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. Let's just check the reference on that. Would be the thing. Um, yeah, just really great. Very cool bike. Yeah, I don't have much to change. Really good work on that. And we've got Cameron's motorcycle. Yeah, looking really cool here. I think we've got the reference for this one. So here it is with the reference. Um, yeah, I mean, clearly a lot of nice improvements on this. If I'm looking for things to improve, um, this make maybe a little bit thicker there. This kind of more rounded here compared to that. I think this gets narrower at the bottom there. You could have kind of pinched that down a bit more. And this seat kind of swoops down a little bit. This shape is more of a triangle. And these also are a little bit more like a triangle than what you have, and a little bit more at a angling in towards each other. And then you've got this little piece here, which is a nice touch. I think this could have been thicker, kind of filled in some more of the gap there. This is a very complex thing to model, so there's a lot of parts, a lot more than a bicycle. So I'm just picking out little things I noticed. You've done a great job. Maybe thicker handlebars. Um, but and overall, I might say again, this would be a reference thing. I think those gas tanks get a little wider towards the front usually. You would need to get some other reference too. This is just that reverse normals thing again. I think we looked at that last time. Um, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely improvements, but this is a very nice job. You've done very well. So next is Pierre, and I'm having some issues with your file. Not sure. Um, so I tried my 2015 first and got that. And then I tried my 2016 and I got this, which doesn't have the spokes and some of the other detail, unless there's stuff hidden. Doesn't seem to be. Um, Just checking. That's all. Yeah. Well, so I'll have to base it on this and the photo. Um, let's go back to the. Whoops. Oh yeah, I don't know. Will it let me look at this full screen? I think it's because it's a snapshot. So it'll be interesting to learn what version you've done it in, but it's a little harder to critique like this. But overall, yeah, it's looking really good. I think um, Falco mentioned smoothing some stuff, and I think that's not a bad idea. But I guess it depends on the reference. If your bike had these kind of more angular, kind of flat shapes, then you'd want to leave that. Um, yeah, I don't have too much to say. And I'm not sure. What I'd be interested to learn is what version you made it in, and maybe that's the issue. I'm not sure why I can't open it, or maybe we just maybe re-upload it. It is a surprisingly small file, 425K. Um, so maybe if you can download and check it yourself, maybe something went wrong when it uploaded. I don't know. Anyways, maybe try resaving it out as a new version and resubmitting it and letting me know what version you did it in. I can take a closer look. But anyway, overall, good work on this. It's a very nice looking bicycle. Next up is Byron. Got the reference on this one. Um, so yeah, another really nice one. I think this was in pretty good shape before this revision, but it's looking really good now. I like these. A nice, really nice shape to those curves on these cables here. Well, and you really paid attention. You got it going all the way back there. That's good. Um, yeah, and a lot going on with this whole assembly there. Wow, and you've even got this wire that loops there, which is sort of unusual. Well, it's an unusual bike in general, but yeah, love the kickstand. Maybe could have gone a little thicker on that. Um, yeah, overall just really good. A lot of attention to detail. Oh, we didn't combine the two halves here, so um, that is a case where I know I'm saying don't combine stuff. This is a case where I would combine stuff. Looks like oops. Oh, see, it's not merging. What you can do is to get those to merge is just select all these along the center because they're not like exactly on top of each other. See that space between the two, and then do edit mesh under vertex. Is there a merge under here? Oh, okay, it's at the top. Um, merge components, and then see that threshold is 0.01. If we do that, oh, I guess that was close enough. I thought that was going to be. I thought we'd have to increase that number. Well, if it didn't do it, you could always increase it, but now they're merged. So, and then once this is one complete shape, you can you might smooth it, and then already that looks a little better. And then go in and like I did with that other seed, or maybe with a lattice or something, just shape it. I think getting kind of narrower in the front, I think, and maybe a little wider in the back, and maybe getting some of that kind of lift here, and that little more of that curve. So I think the seat could use a little more attention, but yeah, again, interesting bike, complex, good attention to detail, a lot going on here. It's excellent work. Next up is Suan, and one thing she mentioned is this odd thing where it's showing the wireframe on here. Oh, I think you might have hit 2, which is like this. What do they call it? It's like a preview. I forget what the name of it is exactly. But anyway, it's like 1 is rough, 2 is like preview with like a shell around it, and then 3 is smooth. So that's all that is. So select it and hit 3, and then I'll look back to normal. Um, Yeah, so again, another really good one. Loving all this detail work here. That looks really good. Nice pedal. Um, got a little bit of an issue where these pieces are going through the tire and wheel, so maybe those need to bow out a little bit. Maybe you need to add some more detail and have them, or maybe the end scooch out. The end here. I mean, that would just do it like that. Um, um, yeah, and some interesting shapes going on here. Um, get a little odd how they kind of intersect this, so you might want to kind of work on that a little bit more, maybe add a bit more detail and get it so it doesn't intersect that pole. But again, this is small details. Pretty nice looking seat with some extra detail there. Handlebars look good. Brakes. Yeah, I mean, there's other little things you could add, like the brakes and the brake cables and those kinds of things, but you got the support under the seat there. Um, this feels a little unfinished, maybe, but maybe that's just how that is. I don't know. I can't remember if we had reference for this one. I guess you were trying to do this thing. Um, I guess you'd need more reference for that. It seems like that would be more connected somehow than what you have. So um, I might either put more time into that or just lose it because it doesn't seem that necessary for the look of it, anyways. But yeah, again, another very good bicycle. All right, next up we have Sean. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's more good, clean work. Um, might get this. The chain looks really nice actually, but I might try to maybe a little bulky, but the construction's really clean and good. Might try to get it to sit on these a little more than they are. Um, yeah, good seat, and I think that narrow front and wider back shape is more typical, but you just gotta look at reference for what you're going for. Good handlebars, nice shape to those. Yeah, I don't, again, not much to improve here, but just kind of, I think that maybe these could use, you've got this detail here, maybe get some more detail and get that a little more rounded. Might be nice. But yeah, I mean, just great work. Good, clean work. Next up is Courtney. Um, so yeah, some good work here. I think it's much improved over the last one. I think some things to look at are some of the proportions. Like these are looking quite thick, um, and the frame doesn't look quite right where they meet in a big triangle like that. I'd be interested to see what references you're using. You should be working more from reference. These forks look a bit thin. So anyways, I think maybe the big message is to work more closely from reference because there's a lot of good construction going on here, but yeah, the handlebars look unfinished. Um, and no, if one pedal's down, the other one's going to be straight up. They're always going to be opposite of each other. So a few things to fix. So yeah, main things is, be looking at proportions, be looking at reference. This looks like it's crowding the wheel, the tires crowding the frame a little bit there. Um, getting the gears on the back wheel will be nice. So yeah, definitely areas for improvement on this one, but you've got some of the basic structure in there, and there is a fair amount of detail still. So good work. So this is Steven, and yeah, just a truly excellent. Um, so there's got the quick release on here now. Got the cables. I can't remember if you had those last time. I think maybe you did. Nice brake assembly here. I mean, not a ton has changed, but it was in such excellent condition to begin with. Um, you know, there wasn't that much to do, so yeah, look at this complex thing. So yeah, I think we looked at most of this last time, but it's you. This is the kind of thing you could like sell on one of those modeling websites. Might look at the width of that. That's looking a little wide to me, but and just the general shape of that, it might not be such a hard turn. Maybe it's more rounded, but again, it depends on the reference. So you might look at that. But yeah, it's just excellent work. Um, Turbo Squid, that was one of the ones where you could sell models on. That's the kind of one you could probably sell there. Yeah, what can I say? Exemplary. Next up is Ian. Um, it's definitely improved over the last version. Again, make sure you're working with reference because I still, there still seems to be some proportion issues. The chainring is looking a bit small to me. The tires are looking like too much distance and that thickness there. The handlebars looking a bit kind of narrow in this direction. I think it'd be better if this was one kind of continuous extrude rather than these different shapes with these connectors. More details you could add, like we've seen in many of the other ones. We've got some nice stuff in there, like a little air pump and stuff. I think, take a very close look at spokes. This is more of like a wagon wheel style thing than bicycle spokes. So take another look at that. But yeah, again, overall, good work. I think just another check on proportions and then looking to add details are the main things. So next is Charlize. Still struggling with computer access. Yeah, I wish I had. I wish I don't. I wish I could help you more. I'm not really sure what to do about the getting Maya working on your computer. But yeah. And I'm not sure what you mean. The wheels in front and back part. Let's take a look. So yeah, more to do. Yeah, clearly the spokes are going to help. I think again, looking a little bit more closely at the reference for the proportions and shape. I think for having very limited time, you've actually gotten pretty far and done some nice work. Obviously, it's looking a little incomplete, but you're clearly learning how to use this program, so that's good. And yeah, I mean the main thing on this one is use reference, do proportions check, and then get the proportions right, and then get to adding more detail. Prior in this video, there was a section where I kind of went over doing the chain and some of the issues people have in making the chain, so you might go back earlier and look at that. And yeah, so the main thing is keep going. Next up is Stephanie. Yeah, another great looking bicycle. Actually, this seat is looking pretty good. Looks like you got some gaps in these, so you might watch the, as I mentioned before, the video that I did earlier to kind of help you see what to adjust to change the spacing of those a little better. Like in the rack here, I think these spokes are looking too kind of wide there. Probably skinnier. And then again, yeah, that's that sort of wagon wheel version of spokes, which isn't really how they work. They kind of, they're like wider out here and then they angle in towards the center and they're thinner. So you might take a good close look at those. And nice pedals, kind of some extra detail there. That's good. And overall, just a good shape and look to the bike. The handlebars look good. This is a nice touch here with the grips. Yeah, so overall, good job. A few little fixes. Yeah, nice seat support stuff going on there with the springs. Yeah, good work. And yeah, a few things to could probably take it to the next level, but it's looking pretty nice. Yeah, and just to sum up, as I said at the beginning, this is really just an excellent group of bikes. As a class, you've done very, very well, and really liking to see all of the supportive and helpful comments you're giving each other. So keep it up, and it's going to be a great semester.